Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this week's video is going to actually be a garden tour, and I'm so excited to share with you now that it's getting hot, now that it's past Memorial Day, which is the day that we plant out here in Southeast Michigan typically. I wanted to show you the progress of my garden and my yard basically, with the I'm not going to show you the grass growing, but I will show you the other things. But I'm so excited to show you what's going on in my yard and in my garden. So I thought I might as well start off. I'm going to take you to the front yard first, show you my landscaping and my pots, and I will be right back with you here in a second. Alright, so this is my front yard and, well, my front landscaping. This is just one side of it. The other side is, it's basically a mirror image on the one side, but I've got my roses and some boxwoods and some hydrangeas, and this is what I put in when I first got the house. And then I've got some vinca, which are just an annual, and I had vinca here last year too, but I basically just dig them up and put new ones in. This year, these are white, last year's were pink, and then I also have some pink dianthus. So these are really fun. I deadhead the crap out of them, and I had to cut back on the bottom. They were just getting so shaggy on the bottom, but you know, they're flowering and they'll continue to flower, and when they're done flowering, I'll cut this back. And then, I don't remember the name of these roses. They're knockout roses, but I don't remember what color they are. They're either coral, pink, or peach. But I love these, and actually, I deadhead the crap out of them too. And here on the front porch, I've got my porch pot, and this is called I think a dahliaette or a dahlietta or something, and they're pink. This thing hasn't flowered the way that my dahlia in here did last year, but that's okay. I almost always have petunias in my porch pot every year. So these are the ones that I have this year. They're kind of fuchsia. Marjoram in the front. And when I got this at the nursery, it was kind of flopped over, so I thought it was going to be flop over, and I didn't realize it actually has a pretty vertical growth habit. But let me tell you how good it smells. And then I've also got cinnamon basil up here too. So, oh, and lastly, I have my little garden stake that says, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow." I bought that on Etsy. And then next to the big porch pot, I have this little pot, which has sage in it. The sage used to live in my perennial bed out back, and I didn't plant it there this year. I put it in this pot. And then I put the pot at the front door, and I won't lie, I kind of like it here, so it'll probably be here to stay. I cut it back a little the other week, and I kind of regret that choice, but you do things and you gotta live with them. It'll grow back. Next to my garage right here, I've got a mess of pots and grow bags as well. So just to kind of review the different things that are coming up in here. I have this pot, which has baby's breath, spotted nettle, and rosemary. And I won't lie, I really love this. I bought these three things because they were all kind of different textures and I planted them here. I think the only thing, I don't know, the nettle is a little aggressive, but I love what's going on with the baby's breath, and the rosemary is looking good too, so can't complain. Here we have the containers that I put my sweet potato slips and my coleus in. I did side dress with some bone meal the other day and watered it in, so hopefully that'll keep those sweet potato roots and the tubers growing. I also have feverfew in here with this one. The feverfew and the coleus, again, probably will come out of these eventually, but for now they just are kind of there to deter digging. This is a marigold that my manager at work grew from seed and gave to me, and I still haven't found a spot for it. I'll probably put it in by my pumpkins or something. Broad beans, they could be better, but they also could be a lot worse. As you can see, I've got beans growing. I don't know when to be picking these, if I'm being honest, but like, look at that. It's a monster. So still got some flowers on that plant too, which is nice. Maybe more, but it's a small harvest. We'll see what happens. But it could be, these could have gone worse. They could have done nothing. And then I have sweet peas, which have been kind of slow to grow, and it might just be because they're, I don't know. I did give these a nitrogen feed yesterday, so they may grow up more before too long. So got some different varieties of sweet peas in there too. I got a variety called America, which is red and white, and then I also have blue ones in there as well. I don't know which ones germinated and which ones didn't. I was not the best at labeling what colors came up, and I don't really care, but you know, hopefully I get a mix of some red, white, and blue. These are my patriotic sweet peas. Coming back to you from the side of my garage, this is actually a lilac tree. It's a Korean lilac. Oh God, what just flew out of there? Am I dead? Oh my God. It's probably just a fish fly. It is fish fly central here on the shores of Lake St. Clair. But anyway, so this is a Korean lilac tree. It's, I think, Miss Kim variety. And the reason I did this a tree is because I love lilacs. They are my favorite flower, but I didn't want a shrub sending up suckers and being a nuisance and having to deal with suckers on it. So I got a tree. This thing's already flowered this year, which means I need to go back. Oh, get off of me. It was a fish fly on me. But anyway, I do need to trim this back now that it's flowered. But hopefully starting, you know, hopefully we'll get a little bit of new growth on it, and then we'll get some more beautiful flowers on it next year. Alright. So coming over to the other end of the bed, I have here 3 different lavender plants. This one, which is almost as tall as me crouching down, is Provence lavender, and this was new last year. And as you can see, it's just the flower stems are extremely long on it, but it will be bursting into color here shortly. And then once it's done, I'm going to be cutting them back. There's also a little bit of growth here at the bottom of the plant as well, and my plan is to hopefully take some cuttings this month and try to get some cuttings propagated on this variety. This variety right here that's purple already, I don't know the name of the variety, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's a hybrid, but I could be wrong. And then over on the end, that little stubby one, I hope you can see it. If you can't, I'm sorry. But I got a stubby little one right here next to the rain gauge. This one is Munstead lavender, and I had something there last year. It didn't come back after the winter, so I put in some Munstead where it was, and hopefully it seems to be doing okay, so I'll take it. Behind my lavender plants, I've also got some flowering allium, and I will tell you, when I saw in the late winter, early spring that the alliums were coming back, I was thrilled. I was so excited, and I'm excited to see them flowering again this year. Between the lilac tree and the rain gauge, I got my 2 dwarf hydrangeas, and the name of them actually escapes me right now, but they're supposed to be kind of small growing, and in the fall they will have pink flowers. Coming over to the end of the perennial bed, and I kind of was going, I think these are a little more, this is kind of like in the front of my yard. Everything out here is kind of, it's not 100% symmetrical, it's not a perfect mirror image, but everything out here I do kind of have the other end of the bed and this end very similar. So here, here I have just some you know, things that are going to come back year over year, so I don't have to mess around with it too much. But I have behind me, I have an arborvitae, and I won't lie, I kind of hate arborvitae, but they are good for something. There's a place for them. They do have their place. I've also got behind me, over, well, to my right, I have a black-eyed Susan that's been munched on, along with some cone flowers that are doing some things. This is also, this right here and right here, these are new additions to the perennial bed. These are foxglove beard tongue, and I bought them at a native plant sale that the local gardening club was having. So I went out there and I said, do you have anything that doesn't aggressively reseed? Because I'm okay with things reseeding a little bit, but I don't want things to be aggressive. I already have enough experience with things invading my growing space, so they recommended this beard tongue. I put it in, I watered it today. You would not be able to tell that it has been watered, but it has. I also have this anise hyssop, which will grow when it kind of produces a purple spiky flower. I also have my irises, which have flowered already, and then I have daylilies right here that haven't done anything yet. They're coming up though. Also, you can't see them. You can't even see where I watered today, but I planted out some gladioli over the weekend, and they're in this spot and to the right of the coneflowers and the iris. So hopefully I'll start to see some growth here in the next several weeks. Chives are done flowering, but they're still going away, doing their thing, being chivy. Coneflowers starting to develop some flower heads, which is exciting. It's so nice under this tree. But let me show you what's growing in the garden, the garden. I planted some basil here on the end, but that's a cucamelon that did germinate, so I'm excited to see what it does. Of the 5 seeds I planted, only 1 came up, and honestly, that'll probably be enough. I've heard they are scary prolific plants. So fingers crossed it does something. If not, I might need to reassess and adjust, but right now it's good. I have a straight 8 that did germinate. I don't know if that chunk of dirt was dug up or if it fell out during rain. But I'll take it. I've got one thing that did its thing. These 2 are lemon cucumbers. So I've got 2 there. I've heard they're good, so I'm excited to see what happens. And then I honestly have no idea why these seeds are so why these seedlings are so scrambled up, but these are market more. cucumbers, and I was excited to have 2, but a 3rd one's come up, so that's cool. And then same here, these are the Parisian pickling cucumbers. So it looks like I've got 3 coming up now, which that'll be nice. 2 sunflowers. I've been growing sunflowers for Linda at the Feel Good Garden. She's doing a sunflower challenge. So I've got 2 coming up because I've put 2 seeds in there. I'll take one out here shortly. This is a variety called ice cream, which I think is really just the same as vanilla ice. Nothing here. I didn't plant anything though, aside from this, which is a lemon queen sunflower for the sunflower challenge. Nothing. Squash gonna go here. But as you can see, I've also got a sunflower growing there. That's another ice cream sunflower / vanilla ice. And then on this row, these are my patty pans, and they're yellow. And this one, this is what I planted out a few weeks ago. And it's doing quite good, and I think it's actually a bush variety. I don't know if this one actually needs to be trellised. It's got garlic powder on it too, because I wanted to keep the critters away from it. We'll see if that helps anything. But when I first put it in, it wasn't doing good, so I did put a seed in. And this one is another patty pan, but it's for the white scallop patty pan. So we'll see what happens with that one. And my Ronde Denise. My Ronde Denise really just didn't do very good for itself after I planted it out. So I put in a second seed, which is doing quite nice right now. I'll probably thin them here in the next week or so. But you know, I can't complain. I can't complain right now. And I've also got a calendula and a basil. So this is my row with the tomatoes. I put coffee grounds over here because I had coffee grounds to dump, and also an eggshell, so I apologize. My garden looks like a dumping ground, I won't lie, sorry. This is an aster plant that I've put here on the end of this row, and I've got a Cosmo here as well. Don't know if it's going to be yellow or pink. This is my garden peach tomato plant, which I'm really excited about. I gave everything, it's got a flower, not anymore. Garden peach, and well, every tomato in this row has had a bit of a nitrogen feed. I gave it a nitrogen feed yesterday. And then I also just watered them again today because it's hot. Got a marigold and some variety of basil, don't remember what. Here's my Kellogg's breakfast, looking good. Here's another calendula. It ain't looking so hot, but I'm sure given time it'll recover. This variety of tomato is my ox heart. It's kind of bent. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun shape. But I'll be staking it here soon. Cinnamon basil this time. And a marigold. This one is my Hughes tomato. Oh, this one's forming buds too. not anymore. We also have another calendula. Big rainbow. Big rainbow, growing strong. This plant, when it was a seedling, worried me so much. I thought for sure this thing was gonna die. But one of my internet gardening friends has grown this variety before, and she says they just are kind of wimpy plants. But he looks good now, you know. I think he looks good. Another marigold, another basil, and then this stud is my black cherry. He's tall. And then I also have, here's another aster and another, I have cosmos staked to this. They were flopping around on the ground. I could probably take them off though now. They seem pretty upright. This row over here is going to be where I'm putting my pumpkins. But I'm not putting the pumpkins in until closer to the end of this month, because last year my pumpkins ripened way too early. And I had to pick them. And then they lived in my kitchen for a month and a half until Halloween. So I did put some bachelor buttons here on the edge, but pumpkins are gonna go like in this vicinity. And then over here I have buckwheat growing as a cover crop, and it's kind of a green manure. Basically what's going to happen, well, what I want to happen, but basically what I want to do is I'm going to end up just turning the soil and like letting it rot down. It's going to be a green manure, but it looks nice. I'm happy. I was not sure it was going to germinate. It didn't do anything for a week. So I've also got a little bit of basil on the end here too. Last but not least, I got my row of beans. Got a marigold here at the end. I need to do something. I need to prop it up. I need to give a support structure to this poor thing. Let it grow, get it growing up and not wherever it's going. I believe I put the orca beans here. I did my second succession of beans right here beyond this marker, and they're either orca beans or black beans. As you can see, of these beans, they've kind of disappeared. The only one that's really done anything is this thing, and safe to say it probably won't do anything because it doesn't have any leaves. And then I did a second, and then I have another succession of whatever the other bean is, orca or black bean here. So we'll see what happens. They did germinate, and I actually do have some plants going though, so that's nice for now. Lima beans did not do a darn thing, so I have another succession growing here that I planted. I don't remember what day I planted them. It wasn't very long ago. But yeah, they've straight been dug out. Friggin' birds. And then my regular green beans, again, everything's just been munched to hell. Like, just been munched to death. And so we'll see what happens. I did another succession right here. I think I did. Well, I know I did, but I think I see some coming up. So fingers crossed. I just gotta be aggressive with the garlic powder, I think. So here's one of my milkweed plants, and as you can see, it's not doing great, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. The Nicotiana is showing signs of having been munched, but it's not awful. The other variety of Nicotiana is doing okay. Looking a little burnt, but I gave everything a good water today, so fingers crossed. My explosion grass is doing its thing. I put a snapdragon here because the ranunculus or whatever. What did I do? Did I just put the snapdragon here? I don't remember. But the snapdragon's doing okay. It's growing. Can't really say the same about the zinnia seeds I put in, except here. I do have a zinnia that did something. The dahlia is the dahlia tubers that I put in. I do have signs of life on this one. Not so much the other one. But 50-50, I'll take it. The dahlias I'm growing from seed are actually, they're in the ground. They seem to be doing all right. So you can see, just dahlias. And then extra irises and daylilies at the back. I figured I'd end the tour here, which is in the bed right behind the house. So just to kind of walk through what I've got here. This is the jasmine scented Nicotiana right here on the end. So we'll see what happens. This bed is a little different than others because it does get good shade in the afternoon, but it also can mean that the things I plant here, if I'm planting from seed, are slow growing. So I put in quite a few starter plants here, just bearing that in mind. So these are all things that I did start from seed. So I have my jasmine scented Nicotiana, and then I have 2 gomphrena plants. I planted this from seed last year. It didn't do anything until probably about September when I was digging it up. So having the starters here is kind of what I'm hoping for, is that they will continue to grow until, but I wanted to give them a foundation. I've got varieties of zinnia here. Don't remember what they are because I'm bad at, I was bad at labeling this year. I was awful at labeling. But these are zinnias, these 3. And zinnias grow okay in this bed here. But that being said, I think zinnias just like growing. I think they're just good growers. And then down here at the very front, this little thing, doing better than the one I have in the cutting garden, is this is another of the milkweed, the hairy balls milkweed. So hopefully it'll do something. I don't have regular common milkweed or swamp milkweed or the other varieties of milkweed that are native to Michigan. I do have My next door neighbor is growing some next to his garage though, so I don't know, throughout the season I may be monitoring those to see if there's any caterpillars munching on them. But at the very least, this is a variety of milkweed, so if they do want to grow, and if anything wants to hang out on it, they can. And I threw some bachelor buttons in the soil right here too, because I think they just like growing, so we'll see what happens with me putting them there, but they should be okay. All right, I'm gonna end it here. I came back inside. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's hot outside. Like north of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a couple ideas for what I'm probably gonna do for next week's video. I think I'm gonna start planting some of my winter squash, but not all of them. I think that's something I'm gonna be doing for next week's video, sowing the winter squash. I also am contemplating, well, I don't really know. We'll see what's happening next week, but I do think I'm gonna at least start do like one of my first successions of winter squash, but not the pumpkins. The pumpkins are gonna be end of the month, but as far as like my honey boat and the sweet dumpling and some of those other varieties, I think I'll at least get some successions trying to go. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I'm so happy that I got to share my progress with you so far, and I'll see you in next week's video. But in the meantime, I know I only spent a little bit of time talking about my front landscaping and the things that I have growing in pots, but I really enjoyed seeing what's going on with my porch pot. My porch pot's something that I really love taking care of. But I was thinking maybe next year, would anybody be interested in doing like a porch pot or like a potted arrangement challenge or something like that? I don't know what the rules would be yet. As you saw earlier in the video, I put herbs in with flowers. So maybe that'll be something like growing herbs in your porch pot with your flower. I don't know. Comment below and tell me if that's something you might be interested in. But otherwise, I'm so glad I got to show the garden with you. Show the garden with you. I don't know what that means. I'm so glad I got to show you the garden and the progress so far. I'll probably do another one beginning of July, just to kind of show what the monthly progress is. Fingers crossed that nothing eats my beans. I'm just gonna have to be a jerk with the garlic powder or something. I don't know. I want beans are like, I don't know. I love beans. 6-year-old me actually put on her All About Me thing that green beans were her favorite food. So honoring 6-year-old me, I wanted green beans and I don't have them yet. So friggin' rabbits, or, well, it's probably the rabbits. I don't know. I can't imagine. My neighbor came over today to tell me that somebody saw a possum walk up my driveway and into my backyard. So I don't imagine a possum would be eating my stuff, and it's probably the bunnies eating my stuff. And I can't do anything to keep the bunnies out for love or for money other than put garlic powder and everything. So I guess I'm just gonna have to be really diligent with that stuff. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to all of the garden tours that everybody's gonna be sharing soon. I'm always looking forward to seeing the videos of the chores that people are doing in their gardens. So I'll see you again next week, but I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this week's video. I'll see you again soon. Bye.